In this video, we'll be exploring how we can create a function that calculates our loss and restricts it to a set percentage of our balance. For example, we don't want to lose more than 5% of our balance on every trade. We can do that with this function that I'm about to work on. First of all, I'll copy the code from the last EA and put it in a new one called Len 8. So you can open up a new EA and call it Len 8. Now I'm going to remove some of the features of the last one, like the days it's allowed to trade, the start hour and the end hour. I want it to trade almost 24. That's that, and the news filter. I'm going to remove those, and also in the code, let's take that out. Then the next thing we want to do is that we want to send our stop loss and take profit with our trade. We don't want to set it separately anymore. I'm going to remove the set all function. Take the code to our buy trade. This should be ask. This should be ask also. So our stop loss and take profit will be sent with our trades. No more modifying after sending trade. Next thing is to write our function. We're going to write our function that calculates the volume according to the balance we set. I'm going to fix this. There's an error here. Please make sure you set these two things, and also set this to the different names: STP, SSL, BTP, BSL. Then apply them inside the trade sending code. So here we write our function that sets the stop loss, and this sets the volume according to the stop loss. So the name of the function is calculate volume. The volume will receive the percentage that we want to put at risk, and it will also receive the stop loss value according to what we sent to our trade. Now I'm going to declare some variables like the balance, the main lot, the max lot, the lot step, the tick value and the tick size. Tick value and the tick size. These variables will be used throughout the function. Now let's populate these variables with actual values. The first is the max lot. Max lot will be gotten from the symbol, so symbol info double, from the current symbol, the symbol volume max. Same for the mean lot, will be gotten from the symbol volume mean. Next is the lot step. Don't declare this twice, you can take this out. The lot step, a lot step, is also gotten from the symbol info double, symbol volume lot step, or symbol volume step. Next is the tick value, which is also gotten from the symbol info double tick value. Let me copy that here and say symbol dash TRA. Okay, this tick value. Now let's get the tick size. Now the tick value is the value of each tick the platform received, or the smallest tick the platform receives. Normally on a 5-digit broker, the smallest tick is this, and this can be equal to 0.1 dollars, but it depends on the symbol. It varies across different symbols. So here we're trying to get the size of each tick with this, and here we're trying to get the value of each tick, which is on this side. With the value and the size, we can know the loss of every tick on the platform, so that we can calculate how many ticks will lose $10 or $100 and so on. Then we can calculate our lot using that value. Now the next thing is the lot digit. The lot digit tells us how many decimal numbers the volumes are allowed to have on that platform. I'm going to set it to 0, and here I'll determine it using the do while loop. The do while loop will simply say, as long as the lot step is less than 0, as long as the lot step is less than 1, we want to keep multiplying it by 10 and adding 1 to the lot digits. So the do while, this is the condition for the do while. Lot step less than 1. Lot digits should be incremented on every multiplication of the lot step by 10. What this means is this: if lot step for this symbol, lot step is usually the lowest lot that a symbol can have. So if the lowest lot a symbol can have is 0.01, then we want to multiply by 10. And if it's still less, we want to multiply by 10 and add 1 to lot digits. And if it's still less than 1, we want to multiply by 10 again and add 1 to lot digits until it becomes 1. Then we will know how many decimal numbers it has. So if we have 0.01, for example, the first time we multiply by 10, we're going to have 0.1, and the next time we multiply by 10, we're going to have 1. Means we've multiplied it twice. Lot digits is 2, and we had two numbers behind our decimal point. That's how you calculate for lot digits. With that value, we can know how many digits the symbol volume is allowed to have. The next thing we do is we set the balance we want to calculate with. The balance we want is the minimum value between the account balance and the account equity. So we're going to use the max min function to ask for which value is lower between value 1 and value 2. And in this case, value 1 is the balance, value 2 is the equity. Here you can look at it. If you take away this comma and put it back, you see mat min value 1, value 2. Put any value in value 1, put any value as value 2, and mat min will give you the lowest value between the two that you put in. The next thing is, how much are we planning to risk from this balance that we just calculated? So we're going to say a balance times the risk percent, which is percent that we sent in, over 100. So So if we sent in 50, that's 50%, to be 50 over 100, that's A balance times 0.5 will give us the amount that we're willing to risk in this transaction. The next thing, we find the lot. The lot will be equal to the A risk money divided by the stop loss that we sent in. This is the stop loss we sent in, this is the percent we sent in. The stop loss we sent in times the tick value divided by the tick size plus 1. Now I'm adding 1 to cover spread and commission. If your spread and commission is more, you can go higher, but this is optional, or you should put it in. It's important, but it's meant to cover the extra cost during or even slippage. It helps the calculation be closer to profit than loss. The next thing is to cut this lot down to the allowed number of decimals, because if this calculation gives us a value like 0.55 blah blah blah, this value is invalid. The trade will not open. So to make sure the value is valid, we have to cut it down to a short number that is allowed by the platform. So I'm going to say cut the lot, that's double value, to the number of lot digits allowed on this symbol. Finally, we're going to make sure that our lot is not more than the max lot. If it's more than the max lot, we want it to be equal to max lot, because if it's more than the max lot, then it will be invalid and the trade will not open. Then if it's less than the mean lot, we also want it to be equal to the mean lot, because if it's less than the mean lot, it's also invalid and the trade will not open. Return lot as the final value from our calculation. The next thing we want to do is put this new volume inside our trade using our stop loss and our risk percent. So if we need to create the options for auto volume. Now input bool use dash auto lot is equal to true, and input double risk percent is equal to, let's say we want to risk 10th of the balance on the trade, on every trade. We'll put 10 there, and if not use auto lot, as if use auto lot is set to false, we can simply say f lot, that's our new lot variable. I'm going to declare now f lot is equal to lot size, and f lot should be here. Let's declare our new lot variable. You can put it here, double f lot equal to 0. So if we set auto lot to false, f lot will be lot size, but if we set it to true, then f lot will be equal to calculate volume of risk percent and SL val. I'm going to get the SL val now. Double SL val will be equal to SSL minus bid. That's the difference between your stop loss and the entry price for a sell trade. That's SSL minus bid. This same thing should be put on the buy side. Replace this with f lot, and this should be ask minus BSL. BSL is your stop loss here. So you compile this and see if it's correct. Okay, we need to take out these restrictions, the day of the week restrictions. Day of the week restrictions, and allow it to trade by NR. That means it will trade 24 hours. Sorry, to trade the whole 24 hours. Now compile that. Let's see what's next. We have another error. Where did you come from? Okay, take this away, take these away, remove this. Okay, let's remove this one. Okay, there's an error here. Should be a semicolon here. Please note. Finally, we have too many open braces somewhere. I have to find it. Okay, let's take one away and see. Okay, so there were too many. Min lot, max lot. What's wrong with min lot? Okay, let's take these outside the function so that there will be no warning. There will be, oh, I didn't declare min lot here. I wrote the both of them as max lot, so change that on your end. Min lot should be this code. Now compile and test. Okay, len 8. Let's see what happens when the stop loss is hit. I think it hit stop loss already. Let's see. The value is not visible yet. Let's go a little, so yeah. Okay, the first trade, the loss for the first trade was 996. 996 out of 10,000. That's roughly 10% of the balance. What is our risk percent? Okay, our risk percent is 10%. So we lost roughly 10%. It's most times it's not accurate because of the spread and the commission and values like that, but it's always in range of what you desire to lose when a trade fails. You can also check the other trade. The next trade is 897, loss of 897, and that's the last trade that we allow to close. Now if you look at your balance, it goes down. So when this trade was taken, the new balance must have been about 9,000. So that's the value to use to calculate 10% loss from. So your new loss will be 897. Now if we allow it to run, you see that the loss keeps going down because the percentage of the balance is lesser than the previous percentage. Now if there's a profit, it goes up. If you look here, you see the loss was 897 and then there was a profit of 809. The next loss will be 888, or the next volume will be about the same size will be higher than the previous volume, be about the same size as the one that lost like two trades ago. Here it lost and the volume reduced, and it won and the volume increased. So if your trade keeps winning, your volume will keep increasing, and if your trade keep losing, your volume keeps decreasing according to the set value that you have. Now that's all in this video. Thanks for watching. I hope you learned something. If you have any question, please leave it for me in the comment section. Thank you.